Crafting isn't about achieving more. It's about becoming who you are meant to be. It's an act of co-creation with the universe. For a long time, I thought I was resilient, proud of how fast I could bounce back. But here's the truth I had to slowly unveil. I wasn't always healing. I was bypassing. Before the big T trauma of losing my mom, there were so many little T traumas, moments that felt disruptive, disoriented, overwhelming. And while I had mindfulness tools, I wasn't always integrating them. I didn't give myself space to fully process or somatically feel. Bypassing keeps you stuck in survival. Crafting invites you into presence. Welcome, sweet souls, to Amplify Authentically, the tech talk podcast for conscious creators and soulful strategists. This is your host, Shilpa, founder of Omni Mindfulness, social media and AI strategist, and certified meditation life coach. If you're making a professional pivot as an aspiring solopreneur ready to align your work with deeper purpose and take aligned action, you don't need more knowledge pumped into your brain. You need a soul-aligned system you can actually live with, guided by someone who's been there. Because I see you, the overwhelm, the stuckness, that frustrating feeling of unfulfillment. Even with all your brilliance and niche expertise, building a soulful business takes time, intention, and trust. So if you feel a calling to create from your years of wisdom and lived experience, I've been there, and that's exactly why I created this show. Each episode is designed for lean learning, digestible while walking, commuting, or just living your life. You'll receive AI-aligned insights paired with soulful strategies, mindset shifts, and spiritual tools to help you take aligned action. And every month you'll get a light digital support, a guided prompt, spiritual practice, or custom AI tools, all part of the Amplify Authentically ecosystem to support your journey as a soulful solopreneur. Always light, actionable, and aligned, never a heavy PDF. Amplifying your voice isn't about volume, it's about intention with vibration. Because your voice is needed, your energy is sacred, and your story, it's the spark someone else is waiting for. So if you're ready to pivot with purpose and strategic intent to rise into visibility without losing your soul, this is your space. This is Amplify Authentically, brought to you by Shilpa, your mentor for streamlining with systems and soul. What if your next pivot didn't begin with a plan, but with a pause? With one conscious breath, the kind that says it's time to design something new on your own terms. Today we take the next step. We begin to craft what comes next. By the end of this episode, you'll walk away with 3 things. Number 1, a deeper understanding of what it means to craft your pivot with purpose, not panic. How to use your past experience as creative material for the next version of your work and brand. And number 3, a reframe on how to co-create with both the universe and AI to align and amplify your energy. In 2014, I was flying back from a 2-week business trip to Australia. I was at the pinnacle of my career, new director title, highest income I've ever earned, with years of user experience leadership under my belt. My professional life looked impressive on paper, but in truth, it felt dubious, almost like an illusion. And here's the contrast. My personal life felt full. I had a loving husband, supportive parents, and a miracle baby, Omni, and a newly remodeled home. My why was tugging at my heart, though, and asking me, how I can reprioritize for that purpose. As I returned from Australia, when I landed, jet-lagged and disoriented, Rich, my husband, met me at the airport. That's when he told me my mom, my spiritual anchor, had passed away while I was in mid-flight. She was not ill, and without any forewarning, she was gone. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. She was not only my spiritual anchor, but she was the woman who would take care of our son and nurture him with my cultural Indian upbringings. But more than that, she was my emotional ground. Everything I had worked so hard to build suddenly felt hollow. What I crafted no longer felt aligned. In the wake of that trauma, I didn't immediately start rebuilding. First, I had to unveil what truly mattered, what my soul had been quietly asking for. Only then could I begin to craft, and not in a way that the world teaches us. Hustle, hustle, and hustle a little bit more. Crafting isn't about achieving more. It's about becoming who you are meant to be. It's an act of co-creation with the universe. For a long time, I thought I was resilient, proud of how fast I could bounce back. But here's the truth I had to slowly unveil. I wasn't always healing. I was bypassing. Before the big T trauma of losing my mom, there were so many little T traumas, moments that felt disruptive, disoriented, overwhelming. And while I had mindfulness tools, I wasn't always integrating them. I didn't give myself space to fully process or somatically feel. Bypassing keeps you stuck in survival. Crafting invites you into presence, expansion, and intentional transformation. Crafting, especially the spiritual kind, means learning to trust the timing of your life, to design from the inside out. Now I'm learning to create from a more embodied place, not bypassing, not pushing, but feeling, listening, and being. Crafting to me is an energetic practice, a soul-led ritual. It's choosing, moment by moment, to co-create instead of control. You've heard me say this before. Energy is like water. It flows naturally, but without structure, it can scatter or flood. That's why I believe crafting your pivot requires more than inspiration. It requires containers, soulful systems, gentle frameworks. Whether it's a morning ritual, a sacred journaling practice, or even a digital workflow that protects your focus. Crafting needs rhythm, it needs intention, and that includes strategic structure too, the kind that supports solopreneurs wearing all the hats, the kind that helps you streamline with systems so you can sustain your energy and stay aligned with your why. When you create containers for your energy, you don't limit your creativity, you liberate it. In my Omni Pivot framework, craft is a second phase. It's all about designing your pivot from the inside out. You're not building randomly. You're shaping something intentionally anchored by your truth. This is where soulful systems and sacred practices meet strategic ones. From journaling to Notion boards, from breathwork to batching, you begin to build a life and business around your values. One of my most important non-negotiable mindfulness practices is my daily meditation practice, both morning and night. Think of your energy like water, beautiful, powerful, full of potential, but without structure, like riverbanks. It floods or disappears. My riverbanks, morning and evening, meditation rituals, a cup of tea in the morning with some lemon, and 3-minute gratitude and introspection check-in in the morning. Choosing stillness before strategy. That's what allows me to flow. And that's why I eventually became a certified life meditation coach, to craft a life that felt present, aligned, and truly mine. Let's talk about another kind of bypassing, the kind that might actually serve you. What if, when used wisely, AI is a spiritual tool? Not to replace your presence, but to protect your energy. Not to replace your creativity, but to streamline, support, and reflect it. Because here's the truth. You're not outsourcing your skills. You're streamlining your production because your energy is sacred. And as solopreneurs, wearing so many hats, it's easy for that energy to get scattered. But when you treat AI like a sacred container, a co-creative partner, you begin channeling that energy with more intention. Your innate skills and lived experiences, they don't get replaced. They get amplified. And that's what propels your purpose forward, with clarity, ease, and soul. Now, if you're feeling called to explore your voice, not just professionally, but soulfully, creatively, and energetically, you'll find a free resource I've created tucked away in the show notes. It's called Amplify Your Voice Starter Bundle. It's designed to help you clarify your tone, energy, and values before you even open ChatGPT. Inside, you'll find a workbook, a Notion template, which is essentially a way to organize your content and ideas, and a custom GPT to support you in crafting an AI voice that actually sounds like you. No pressure, just something to explore if you're in a season of reconnecting to your voice or stepping into your second act with more presence. Now, back to the theme of this month, Pivoting with Purpose. I also have available in the show notes a link to the Pivot with Purpose journal. Revisit the journal that you may have started using last week. All you need is 2 minutes in it, and craft a sentence that reflects your authentic voice, something that reflects what you would like to do, whether personally or professionally, to amplify your creative energy. So coming back full circle on the concept of bypassing. If the old kind of bypassing has kept you in survival mode, what about this new kind? Could we consider that it might be a conscious choice? Because your energy is indeed sacred. And as a solopreneur wearing so many hats, it's easy for that energy to get scattered. Lost in busy work, decision fatigue, overwhelmed with so many choice points, or trying to do all of it alone as a solopreneur. But when you treat AI like a sacred container, a co-creative partner, you begin channeling that energy with intention. You're not bypassing your purpose. You're bypassing the parts that drain you. You're not skipping the soul work. You're streamlining the systems so that you can stay aligned with your deeper why. This is how your innate skills and lived experiences get amplified, not replaced. Because soulful automation isn't about doing more. It is about what matters with clarity, efficiency, and ease. That is a new kind of crafting. And next week, we elevate, but only because we first unveiled and then crafted with purpose. Until next time, keep being mindful and amplify authentically.